Y'all, there's a lady on this app that had everybody crying for her. And what I mean is she said on...
Okay, this whole inventing Elizabeth has me in a chokehold. So if you're not aware, just quick little lowdown. There was a woman who went viral. Her name was Elizabeth, and
Bitch, I was not expecting this. This was a plot twist I did not see coming. Okay.
Right? Like, what's going on here? Turns out, I should have seen this coming. Ex-husband is a Scientologist. Now listen.
Welcome back to All Things Jenny. If you have not seen this video of this lady basically crying, set up the camera, then started crying as she baked herself cupcakes on her birthday because she had to spend it alone.
And everybody was so in her corner. Everybody felt so bad. She was like, she don't have nobody to celebrate it with. Her kids didn't contact her. Nobody contacted her. Had everybody feeling really bad for her. And she went super viral. And then her husband came on here and was like, you know why nobody wished her Happy Mother's Day? Because I got...
The plot twists in this one just keep twisting. You watched this video, right? Of the single mom, Elizabeth, crying, making herself cupcakes, alone, single mom on her birthday. And the internet was there for it, right? Half the world was like, why are you filming yourself crying doing this? Like, go out and have some fun, babe. And the rest of the world was really sympathizing with her because, you know, that sucks. Then her ex-husband rolls out and says, no, don't believe her at all. She is a terrible person, a terrible mother. He said that she owed $21,000 in back child support because he actually has full custody of the kiddos. He said she faked cancer and grifted $1 million off of somebody. Next plot twist, she comes back to TikTok, makes another video, says her ex-husband is abusive, and the only reason she signed over her kids was to get him off of her back. And at this point, I really started to get Micah Miller vibes, right? Like, what's going on here? Turns out, I should have seen this coming. Ex-husband is a Scientologist. Now listen, I was born a third-generation Scientologist. I'm out now, and I know inherently that does not make him a bad person. However, you know what I think does make him a bad person? Using Scientology's fair game, which is their policy to attack their enemies. Literally, he's going by the playbook against his ex-wife. We need to talk about this website. This man has an entire hate website about his ex-wife online. That's so weird. And it asks the big question, who is Elizabeth? Who is she? Well, you know how I know that reeks of Scientology? That is literally the line they use when they take out smear websites against their enemies. No joke. Look at this one. Who is Mike Rinder? Who is Amy Scobie? I mean, it's so well known that I look at my SEO. Look at what's up here. Number one, who is Liz Gale? Because I know how important that is because they will come after you using those exact terms. So I just think it's really important that we point out here that we have a religious man literally using his religious policies to attack a woman, convince the whole world she's insane. Why? Because she dared to cry on her birthday. And listen, yeah, I think it's even more appropriate to cry if you don't even have custody of those kids. Like, what a reason to cry. How terrible. Anyway, what do you guys think about this crazy situation? I take no pleasure in this, actually. This is dangerous ground. For real. For real.
Hi. I want to first start this video by saying this is not to bring a single bit of hate to Andrew, and I will never do that. I haven't done that on my page before, and I won't do it now, no matter who he is, which has always been the case because I will never bring the parent of my children down, because that's not okay for them. Putting the things on the internet for my kids to one day see because of who he is, I will never do it for them because it's not the right thing to do. And Andrew has created websites, TikToks, essentially everything since I left him. I think that is probably the Scientologist aspect of his life. If you go on the website, there's actually Scientologist links that he's added there. I don't know if anyone is familiar with that, but getting out of a Scientologist mindset in a relationship is not a good thing, and not an easy thing. Andrew is extremely abusive and has always been extremely abusive. Laying low or staying under is essentially what I have felt a lot of years was the right thing for me to do. He told me the morning that he posted the video, if I deleted my social media, he would not do what he's doing. Would not destroy my life. He says that he will not take them down unless I deleted social media to try to limit access to problems. I have been so mentally not okay since that happened. But in the state of Florida, whoever makes the most, well, first I'll start by the custody, okay, because that's what we're all talking about. I see my children. I see all my children. I don't not see my children. I'm the one who hosts their birthday parties. I'm the one who puts them to bed. I'm the one who does everything until he pulls them away. And the reason by that is the agreement that you guys have seen online is when I first left him out of abuse, I had no resources, no money, nothing. He was a doctor. And he said, if you sign these papers, nothing will change on when you see them. And I will not ruin your life. I will leave you alone. And so I did. In a mentally bad state of abuse and wanting it to stop. He was never hurting them. I stand by that. Mentally, he's not doing great things to them in terms of the stuff he says, but he will never hurt them. He's never hurt them. He will never hurt them. So I never, and I was still seeing them always, even now. He's portraying this on there, but even now. This whole thing started on Friday, which was the weekend of my birthday. I went to my daughter's, the ones pictured in the videos, their dance recital. And I feel like I'm all over the place, but I didn't write this down. I didn't write this down because I wanted it to come from the heart and not like a script. Dance recital afterwards, 4 of my girlfriends asked for me to go to dinner for my birthday. It was a late dinner, 9 o'clock, and I said to him after the dance recital, I'm going to go to the dinner, but I'm still free for the rest of the weekend for the girls, no problem. He said, no, you made the decision to go to dinner, you will not see them on your birthday, you will not see them any other, which actually in turn came to why I was so upset on my actual, but I did, but also he's a doctor, he owned a practice, an eye clinic, and he essentially runs all his bills through his business, which is fine. But then he pays himself $350, $400 to turn that in as his financial affidavits, which essentially means he makes no money. I also want to point out, you may think I'm whatever you're saying about me on the internet, but there are other women that have filed restraining orders against him. And if anyone took the time to go look him up as well, that's what you would see. Instead, you see everything you've looked me up, which is essentially coming from one man who is out to destroy my life. That is in the nature of being a Scientologist. That is what they do. And if you know anything about them, you would know that. I'm not a perfect person, not even a little. I would never say that. I'm not a perfect mom. I hope no one would say they're a perfect mom. When I got divorced, definitely when I left my husband, I was out drinking, or I was going through it. I mean, I felt like I was literally 6 years. And he got scared that I was getting followers from my video and thought
and went and exposed her, in which he also has an entire page called Inventing Elizabeth, where he talks about her. He says that she faked cancer, owes child support, that he has full custody, and that she's a liar. Additionally, in those posts, he would share a link to a website that had more quote-unquote evidence against Elizabeth. He is now somewhat backtracking after she shared her side of the story, saying that he is not a Scientologist, he has no idea where that came from, and that he did not create the website. Now, I don't know if she's telling the truth or he's telling the truth, but originally when his video came out, a lot of people were seeing where he was coming from. Now, he is getting a lot of hate comments on his videos because people think he's actually the one in the wrong and that he's tormenting Elizabeth. So just a gist of what Elizabeth is sharing, if you haven't seen, she's basically showing evidence of all the horrendous things he's doing to her, including a voice memo or a voicemail where he tells his daughter that Elizabeth wants nothing to do with them and that she's blocked them, in which she has shared that she loves her daughters, spends time with them, and that it's not true. Also, in other screenshots, you can see that he was inviting her to Disney and she declined. Also would blow up her phone and essentially manipulate everyone in her life. This is honestly very messy, and people are saying that he's really a horrible person, especially because he has dedicated a page to talking about her for multiple years. What do you guys think of this whole thing? He also named the page Inventing Elizabeth after Inventing Anna on Netflix.
Things are always more complicated than they seem on the internet, because the single momming here comes with co-parenting, and the co-parent has a smear website against her. So the ex-husband has a smear website against this woman, and I'm so confused why this is legal. For real, explain to me how it's legal to take out a website against your ex-partner. Shouldn't that be part of a custody arrangement that you just can't do that? Anyway, she's doxxed. Hella doxxed. Doxing known associates like mom and sister. This ex-husband has got every year of her social media accounts analyzed on a website. Oh boy. Where she lives. Should this be legal? Should this be allowed? I feel like this is really, really icky and should not be allowed for someone to do against the mother of their children. Boo, boo, boo.
Going on? Why did you choose to set up the camera on your birthday, start crying while baking yourself cupcakes because you are alone? You have to spend your birthday alone. What the heck was the point of this video? What the heck was the point of that? Because to me, all I'm hearing is that, ma'am, you are trying to manipulate people by using your white girl tears. Because let's not pretend as if this was a black woman, people would be standing behind her like that, you know, especially after everything that came out, that this lady was lying the whole time. I mean, to me, I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand what's going on, why people feel like they have to prop up their camera and cry on TikTok for sympathy. And why are you doing that? Where are your friends? Why are you at home on your birthday baking yourself your own cupcake, which is fine, you know. If that's what you want to do for your birthday, you can bake yourself some cupcakes. But I'm pretty sure you can afford to buy yourself a cupcake or a cake, or, you know, going out with your friends. Because where are your friends? Why are you recording yourself looking so sad on your birthday, trying to get sympathy from people, and, you know, how you cannot see your children and all that craziness the whole time you were lying? I mean, we don't really know, but the man came with some proof. He came with a whole lot of proof to show that there's something wrong there with the picture. And I feel like there's something wrong with the picture even before I saw the proof. I'm like, what the heck is this lady crying? Why are you crying? I mean, she was crying. It wasn't just like, you know, she was just like, and then she got the sad song going in the background that I cannot not even play because she got the sad duh, duh, duh. I think that was probably the song that she played in her wedding, because that's a wedding song. One step closer, you know that song? I'm like, girl, what is going on? Like, is it that bad? Are we really that desperate for attention in 2024? Is it really that serious? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Where are your friends? Why are they not taking you out on your birthday? And even then, so if you spend your birthday alone, so what the heck is wrong with that? Isn't it sometimes it's so much better to just spend your birthday, you know, alone and in peace, do exactly what you want on that special day? Oh, it's just so beautiful. But not everybody's like that, and I get that, right? But if you had to spend it alone and you're just baking yourself some cake, what the heck is wrong with that? Bake yourself some cake and eat the cupcake and have a good old funky time. Why did you prop your camera up on social media and then start crying while you bake the cake? I mean, girl, could you even see? Because the amount of tears you had going down your eyes, could you even see what you were doing? Because at this point, I'm like, what is going on? Why are people using social media for attention and, you know, to get sympathy? Because a lot of women were behind her and they were supporting her, and I get that. I get that because people want to feel like they're doing something and they're supporting a cause and all this and all that. And majority of them were white women, because it's like they're always looking for sympathy for something. They're always looking for sympathy for something. What is going on, ma'am? You could have just went out with your friends for your birthday and not cry on the internet to get some sympathy or maybe donations. Girl, I don't know. Hell, I do not know. But to me, it was just weird. It was just a weird video all around. And I'm just like, girl, inventing hope. That's what it's inventing Elizabeth. Apparently, the husband felt like he invented her, like she wasn't nothing before him, because that's the name that he gave. He has a social media. I don't know. It's white people shit. Okay. This is white people problem, because to me it's just giving something didn't work out and now everybody's bitter and everybody's upset, and I'm just over it. I'm over it. Anyways, guys, that's my opinion. I hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye.
All right, I am finally off of work, and the amounts of comments, holy crap, y'all. There's been plenty of people that needed to be blocked and banned because they couldn't contribute to the discussion like adults and wanted to drag different genders and things like that. We're not doing that here. I'm not here for it. However, what we'll talk about tonight is the comments that say she faked cancer, she grifted $1 million from someone. What's the other accusation? Oh, and she's been arrested for a felony for check fraud. Okay, so let's unpack these things. Or let's fucking don't. Do you know why? Because even if these things are accurate, even if these things are 100% true, you need to tread carefully when you start behaving as though someone deserves to suffer the loss of their children and family because they've made mistakes and done bad things. You really need to be careful with that. Because here's the thing. This whole character assassination thing that he's done for the last couple of years, he says it's about warning other people and protecting other people. It absolutely is not. This man is 100% obsessed. But when it comes out that someone is a victim of abuse and you start hunting for bad things about the victim, that says so much more about you than it does about anybody else in the equation. Why, when a crime is committed against a person, do we have a tendency to dig through that person's past and make snap judgments about whether or not they deserved what happened to them based off of what they've done in the past? That's, oh, you guys, that's some icky energy right there. So let's say that she faked cancer. That would suggest struggles with mental health. That would suggest struggles with having enough positive attention. Some people have said, well, she's a grifter. What is that coming from? You know, and I'm not saying that every crime someone commits is excusable. What I am saying is that people can and do often change. Now, when you start talking about murders and things like that, the hope for change is very slim. But while we are seeing very clear evidence that this woman is being stalked, abused, harassed, this man is now abusing the children. This is also known as abuse by proxy. So he's using a proxy, that would be the children, to further emotionally and mentally torment his ex-wife because he can't get to her any other way. The last stronghold that man has on her is those children. And if you think that narcissists do not immediately glom onto the children as some sort of weapon, you're not paying attention. That's the first thing they do. One of the things that a narcissist does in a divorce when there are children and finances involved is they basically say, I will leave you penniless, homeless, and I will take the things that matter the most to you. That's the thing. When leaving a narcissist or an abuser, you really do well to make it their idea, and not everyone has time to do that. But if you gray rock them and you plan carefully and you make it their idea to leave you first, then often you can get away unscathed until they try to hoover you. But in this instance, this man's obsession with this woman is absolutely dangerous. Again, he says he's trying to warn other people, but that's not the case here. This is a case of deny, attack, and reverse the roles of victim and offender. This man posted about the child support and about the felony conviction because he knew that there would be people out there that would glom onto that. But when you start digging through someone's past, when they are a victim of something, you become no better than the person who asked someone what they were wearing when they were sexually assaulted. I'm telling you that right now. You are no better than the person who tries to blame a victim of assault for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, wearing the wrong clothing. Were you drinking that night? But the fucked up thing is these narcissists know that. They know there are people out there that will latch onto that. And these people who latch onto that says a whole lot about you. And what that says to me is that you're carrying some form of subconscious guilt that allows you, that it makes you feel better to pass judgment on other people because you can't believe that this person who did these terrible things could also be a victim. Two truths can mutually exist. Two truths can coexist. And a person can be both a victim and an offender. And in fact, it happens more often than you think, such as in the case of narcissism. Narcissists were often abused as children, and they go one of a couple of ways. They either become empathic or they become so tightly laced to their own feelings that they see nothing else, and they become a narcissist. So, with that said, someone asked me, don't you care that she faked cancer? In this instance, no. Where I am concerned is for these children and what this man is doing to her. I am concerned because I have lived something similar. I am concerned because I have been through this. I am extremely grateful that my ex-husband got a grip on his behavior and realized that what he was doing was wrong. And what that means, having the self-awareness and the ability to change, means that he is not a narcissist. But he definitely displayed some narcissistic traits immediately post-separation, and honey, it was bad. It was really bad for a very long time. And so I have a lot of empathy for Elizabeth, having lived through this myself. So if you want to boil it down to brass tacks and you want a 100% yes or no answer, no, I don't care what she's done in the past. Because nothing that someone does in the past justifies them being a victim of a crime in the future. Period. You're no better than anybody else. If you justify someone abusing someone because of things they've done in the past, you are no better. Believe me. You become a flying monkey for that narcissist, and you basically, you're just like them. You're no better. So please, chew on that for just a little bit. Ask yourself why you are so ready to digest these accusations that he's making. And by the way, this thing about her stealing $1 million, you steal $1 million, so you're going to prison for a long time, and you're going to pay restitution for a very long time. I can't find any evidence of any arrest for stealing $1 million. Was there a felony arrest for a bounce check? Yes, there was. It was a $12,000, and she owns her stuff. That's the other thing. If you look at her page right now, she's owning up to the things that she's done wrong. And it's hard because you can see in her face there's a lot of shame there. And shame is a very toxic emotion. She also talks about her struggles with mental health. Because here's the thing, when you've lived through something like she's lived through, you are going to struggle with your mental health. The cognitive dissonance, the fog of coming out of a relationship like that, what happens to the brain when you're finally free, but you're still gaslighting yourself, and that happens to abuse victims. It is so hard to unpack. It takes a long time. And this young lady is possessed of a self-awareness that not very many people have, because she owns what she's done wrong. But for how long are you going to continue to punish someone who's already been passed sentence, who has already been convicted of a felony, and has repaid her debt to society on that? I guarantee you that what he did was threaten her with jail time, and that is how he extracted custody of the kids. That happened to me too. I was threatened with jail time in an attempt to extract custody of my children. The only difference is I didn't lay down and take it. But not everyone's that strong. Sometimes a person in this situation needs other people to lift them up and be their voice when they can't be heard. Okay? So when someone is a victim of something and you go rooting around for evidence to suggest that they deserve what is happening to them, you really need to look deeper within yourself. Seriously.